and to our ranking member, Congresswoman Matsui. Welcome, Chairwoman Rosenworcel, and the commissioners of the FCC. It's always great to see you and have you here in this hearing room. As I was listening to others, I was reminiscing over all of the FCCs that have come here during my tenure, and it's a long and important effort. Chairwoman Rosenworcel, for as long as I can remember, you have been, in my view, the leading voice about the need to close the digital divide and the homework gap. And I would argue that the availability of mid-band spectrum is an important tool to achieve these goals. Now, this last Sunday marked 100 days since the FCC Spectrum Auction Authority expired. We all know that spectrum is the gold, 18-karat gold, not 12 or 14, 18-karat gold of the 21st century. Nothing moves without it. Yet the Commission is sitting on a vast amount of mid-band spectrum in the 2.5 gigahertz band, spectrum that was won at auction. A carrier paid over $300 million for that last August. That's going to come up to a year pretty soon. And I don't know if that money is earning interest, where it is. It's stunning to me that someone pays for something, they don't get it, but the person or the entity they paid it to still gets to keep it. These licenses that haven't been issued, and more importantly, the real point is that they're not being put to use. We know that 4 FCC general counsels wrote to the FCC in March about this. Public Knowledge wrote to the Commission in January to express their concerns over the licenses. In fact, Public Knowledge's part of Harold Feld's letter said, I'll quote, "As always, when licenses are at issue, this is not simply a matter that impacts a single company. Licenses are issued to serve the community of license, and the delay in issuing these licenses denies those communities all the important services that come with them." Public Knowledge also went on to ask the Commission to issue a public notice to publicly state whether it has in fact concluded that it does not have the authority to issue the licenses at issue. They also went on to request the Commission to consider alternatives, the STAs, the Special Temporary Authority. I wrote to the Commission, wrote to you and the Commission, I believe it was May 15th, stating essentially the same case. I know that I wrote with Congressman Soto on, I believe it was June 16th. That's very recent, so you wouldn't have, I don't think, had a chance to answer. T-Mobile has written, Public Knowledge has written, but there's no response on STAs, and no official statement requiring the public to rely on reports, you know, in press and public statements and all of that. So I'm, you know that this has been a source of not only aggravation to me, but real worry. And I think writ large that it sets a chill in many ways on auctions that have been so extraordinarily successful over the last 2 years. So I want to ask you, Chairwoman, if you'll give consideration to the STAs.
So I want to make clear that this situation is totally unfair. I've said that to the CEO of the company involved. It's also unprecedented because for 30 years we've had this authority. Congress
I-
has always
I know
renewed
it's,
it.
I know it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
So are the commission's actions or
Let
inactions.
me also explain this. This is an area where the law is extremely clear. It says, our authority to issue licenses shall expire on March 9th. This is not ambiguous language.
I only have 17 seconds
Listen,
left.
and special
I wanna
temporary
ask you-
authority
I wanna
only
ask
exists
you-
to the
I
extent
wanna
that that
ask
underlying
you
authority
if you
is
will
there.
consider STAs, and if you'll commit to providing the public transparency that's really due, because this is a huge issue.
We are going to continue to look at every law that we can to see if there's a way forward here. My other concern is violation of the
But
Anti-Deficiency
I
Act.
don't hear you saying yes.
Well, what we're doing right now is studying the laws to make sure we don't violate the Anti-Deficiency Act, which is a criminal law. And as I mentioned earlier today, the last time it was alleged that the FCC violated the Anti-Deficiency Act in a situation involving our spectrum authority, the GAO investigated, and the staff of the agency had to hire their own counsel to defend themselves. Like I said before, I don't want any of that nonsense. That's
my
why we're going to
time
be
has
exceptionally
expired.
careful.
My time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.